Hey guys, Movie Fan here. Not too long ago, I put up a little post asking the question, should I review Power Rangers The Return? Well, every one of y'all said yes, so of course, I'm gonna review Power Rangers The Return. But first, it's Morphin time! Triceratops! Alright, now we're ready. Well, let me just start off by saying that I absolutely love this comic book. It came out even better than I had expected. Granted, there's still a few things I'm waiting to find out what happens next, but it came out even better than I had hoped. For instance, I love the story, how it plays off like, well, the team broke up because of their final battle with Zed and Rita, which we already figured out from the get-go that obviously Tommy died during that battle. In this case, they made it more clear. They don't come out and say it, they just kind of get ready to, but she just won't let them say it because she's trying to move past her time as a Power Ranger. And in the meantime, they call upon her because Jason is missing and they thought she could help them, but she turned them down. What happens next? We have yet to find out. Now, I'm doing it this way because I know a lot of y'all have probably already gotten your own copy and you probably already know what's happened so far. So I'm not going to give you detail for detail here. And plus, there's probably already enough people who have reviewed it to that kind of level. So there's really no point in me doing it. However, I will tell you my thoughts as to what's going on in this particular book and also some possible theories as to what's going on in the story. For instance, obviously we got the first part where Jason encounters a being who says that I am the past, come back to haunt you. This would be the individual who stole his power coin. Now, I think that is probably either Rita Repulsa herself brought back, but most likely it's probably Zed and Rita's daughter. Why am I saying daughter? Well, we got Olivia Hart, so I think we're going to go along that line here. And they did do one thing that surprised me, though. When I talked about Power Rangers Reimagined, I immediately thought they were going to lean on the possibility that Trini had died in the battle too. But it turns out, no. Because actually, after we have this encounter with Jason, we see Billy dedicating the youth center to Trini. And in the background, you see an image of Trini. And she's obviously a lot older than when she was in Reimagined. So that kind of says that she did not die in the battle. And furthermore, when Billy is talking to Kimberly about what he's been trying to do with the Morphin grid, trying to find a way to harness the teleportation abilities to, either teleport people out of danger or cancer cells out of people. There's a line in here where he says, I was so close. I should have started experimenting with my power coin's access to the Morphin grid sooner. Then maybe Trini would. So that suggests that she didn't die in the battle. And I do love the whole concept that Jason has gone rogue to become basically an vigilante superhero. And of course, in the end, him is visited by a girl named Selena, who is apparently a cousin to Trini. And she's pretty much demanding that she help her to become the next Power Ranger. And you know what? I got a feeling that this Selena is not who she says she is. I think she's Zed and Rita's daughter, disguised as a possible relative to Trini. What makes me say that? Well, there's a part in here where she's getting ready to go into a cab, and you see a shadowy hand which becomes a clenched fist. Obviously, this being that just attacked Jason is watching them. And there's also a part in the comic where Billy said that Jason had said that apparently someone's been tapping into the Morphin grid, or trying to for that matter, and not just Billy. And I'm guessing whoever this is probably trying to find a way to tap into the Morphin grid to become more powerful. And most likely, considering how this being stole Jason's power coin, it's probably the same one. And I find it to be a little coincidental that after all this time, all of a sudden a cousin just shows up out of nowhere on Kim's doorstep saying, you need to help me become the next Power Ranger. There's something suspicious about that. Because in the comic, they make it pretty clear that they haven't really spoken to Kim for a long time. Probably ever since that final battle. And that's one of the things that makes me think that this person's a fake. Because Billy and Zach were obviously still in touch with Trini the whole time. But Kimberly was out of the picture for this whole time. So she would not know any details in recent years about Trini's family members. That's what makes me suspicious about this Selena. And with this comic book, I feel that Amy Jo Johnson is truly outdoing herself. I really mean that. She is really outdoing herself. Because I'll admit, beforehand, I wasn't sure how this was going to go with her to begin with. Reimagine brought me around. But at the same time, it's just that she never did comic books before. And I know she was a writer, but, I never imagined anything like this. And she's doing great. And I'll tell you, I think that she is tapping within her actual life story here. Because in this comic, they say that she's moved to Canada, just like Amy. And at the same time, Kim is trying to forget that she ever was a Power Ranger. She's trying to put it all behind her, just like Amy did for a while. Because it's no secret to all the fans that back in the day, after she left Power Rangers, she really tried to get away from being a Power Ranger. She tried to prove that she was more than just the Pink Ranger. And I think she did that successfully. However, Hollywood, well, they typecast her. As Amy Jo Johnson herself said during a convention I went to, they weren't taking her seriously as an actress. So, yeah, I think that she has actually brought that into the story. The fact that, back then she really tried hard to just get away from Power Rangers. She just tried really hard to keep that in the past. Now, I don't mean that in a bad way, of course. I'm just saying she was trying to move on from what she did. That's all. And it definitely shows in here that Kim, she's trying to move on with her life. Now, granted, she's doing it for a different reason. Obviously, because, what happened back then when Tommy was killed off, obviously, that was the big thing. So she wanted to move on from that. And since Zed and Rita are gone, well, what's the point of continuing? I think Amy has done just that, and she's done that quite successfully. And I can't wait to see what happens next, especially given the fact that I cannot wait to meet Olivia Hart. And once again, I do hope that we get some more backstory into Tommy and Kim's marriage before he died in the battle. I really hope to see that. But we'll just have to wait and see. Until then, this is Movie Fan signing off.